Tanse, Jen Laderoute, Nitsi Kason, Iguahaya, Gift Lake, Alberta, Huchinia. Wiahatu tamano he, Atamona, Kagipiawasiwian. 1950s and Gihawasiun. Igwa mstahikwe nigisksin. Nigisksin ya tanse gisip matse toi sinuak tanse gisik te makse to tanse gisip matse huto na tohkwe. Guniuhe kigwaya kawiahatu taman. Igwaspia Gift Lake. Moi mihtito huigua kuuta tituik. Igwa kakiawia kihte maksu. Muitse kwantiti kagi huige koma Gift Lake. Muitse kwantiti sagak. Mangimyo ayanan. Mstahikwe kagiskiano ma ano tiga kawihata tamanum kani paimehak min uchihtugi sigaw. Kita mehmana. Nipagsimon tamiwih tamig uhe atamona kayayan. Hi, my name is Jen Laderoute and I'm from Gift Lake, Alberta. I'm telling stories from my childhood. I was a child in the 1950s and I remember a lot. I remember so much from my childhood, how Gift Lake was, how people lived, how people made a living, how the community was. And, at the time, everyone was poor in Gift Lake and had big families. I come from a family of 10 children. And pretty much every other family, most other families had the same number of kids, if not more. But we were good. We were happy. We were poor, but it was all right. Today, I'm going to be telling about Christmas and a little bit about New Year's. How Christmas was, for a child back in the 50s. I remember how Christmas felt. I have such good memories of how Christmas felt. The anticipation. I mean, we didn't decorate like a month before Christmas. We decorated the tree maybe 2 days before Christmas. But the anticipation that Christmas was coming. The Christmas concert, which I'll talk about. All the preparation that Mom did. Christmas smelled so good. She was, and I love to watch her as she made, Christmas cake, pies. I love the delicious aroma that soon filled, our big old kitchen from the cakes and stuff she had baked in the cast iron cook stove. We had a lovely turkey dinner with all the trimmings. Mom would bring out her canned berries and fruits at Christmas time. There was the anticipation of knowing that we would get a toy. Yes, a toy. One toy, that was what we got. And we got peanuts, candy, and a couple of oranges in our stockings. But we so look forward to that. That was such a treat for us. The anticipation of just having that special family time, I think, was awesome. Just talking about, and we really believed in Santa. We fell for the Santa story in a major way. CKYL, that's like YL Country now, is definitely an old station because it was around in the 50s. And every evening we sat by the radio and listened when CKYL would announce that indeed Santa and his reindeer had been sighted. We believed it. Oh, he's on his way. Oh, I had questions like, how will Santa know where I live or what I want, what to bring me? How, but we believed in Santa because we had nothing else to influence us except for the story we were told by our parents about Santa. We didn't have access to a mall, never mind a store where we would see Santa before Christmas. Um, and Christmas morning at our house was probably the same as any other house on Christmas morning. The excitement, sneaking a peek at the toys under the tree, and we'd get sent back to bed. We'd get into the candy, we'd get into our stockings then. And finally, Mom would give up and get up. We had to wait for her to tell us which toy belonged to who. We had no wrapping paper. I mean, we literally could see the toys. And there was no name tags on our presents. We got one toy each, as I said, and we played with our new toy all day at Christmas and for days afterward. We appreciated our toys so much, our one toy. There was the school Christmas concert, which was a big family and social event in the community. We had to go by horse and wagon or sleigh and horses, because there was little children and babies to transport. And when we got there, there would be other sleighs there already, and people piling into the one-room school. Yes, one-room school. And, the kids, we'd be so excited as we practiced and practiced and practiced for our plays. And back then, we really had good plays. Like, it wasn't just a song. We had costumes, the whole bit. Where the teachers got them, I have no idea. But I was in grade 3. This would have been in 1960. We practiced this play, my class, about toys that came alive. So what we did was we all laid on the floor, on the stage, really still and quiet, didn't move. And then when it was your turn to come alive, you got up and you walked to the front of the stage and you had a line. So when it was my turn to come alive, I got up, I was a doll. I got up and walked to the front of the stage real stiff-legged and jerky like a doll. And my line was, "My name is Petite Marie, and I come from far across the sea." And I believe that our teacher went to some expense for our costumes of toys that year. As a doll, I had this black and white checker dress with like a pinafore or an apron on it, and it was new. And there was the other toys. They had good costumes. Another part of that Christmas concert, that same one I remember, is that there was a class that sang "Little Drummer Boy," and I believe they dressed as angels or something. But the drummer boy also dressed, I guess, as a drummer boy. He had a costume on, and he had a real drum. I was so impressed with that. I remember a group of boys, 3 boys, that sang "We Three Kings," and they were dressed in costume as kings. That was, a very good production that year. After the concert is over, the parents, the people mingled a bit and visited before heading home. There was no refreshments. There was none expected either. This next story, I guess I'm gonna have to share. It's a really big part of my Christmas memories, and please keep in mind that I was a child. I was a child. Anyway, I'll call it figure skates for Christmas. So I looked at these skates in Eaton's Christmas catalog over and over again. Oh, I so wanted them. I knew exactly what page they were on. I circled them with a pencil. I showed them to Mom and Dad several times, letting them know this is what I want Santa to bring me. The skates I wanted were white. Okay, all I'd ever worn was my big brother's big old brown boy skates. So I have to specify they were girl skates with a high top. And there were little bells hanging from the top on the back. And they had, of course, they had figure skating tips. I could see myself already, just twirling in those figure skates like Barbara Ann Scott. She was a big figure skating star in the 50s, although I don't know how we knew about her. But finally, it was Christmas morning, and I saw something glistening, under the tree, which I was sure were my skates. And I couldn't wait for Mom to tell me that indeed those pair of skates were mine. Finally, it was time for Mom to give me my present. She had in her hands a pair of childish skates, or what I thought were childish skates, and she was handing them to me. I'm like, yuck, those skates aren't mine. They're not the ones I picked from the Christmas catalog. These ones even have like fur around the top, like for a little kid. And there was no little bells hanging from the back. There was no figure skating tips. I hated them. I was not going to wear them. And I didn't even take them from Mom. I ran back to bed, crawled under the blankets, and cried. I was so disappointed and mad at Santa. But no one came to comfort me. It was a take it or leave it situation. If I didn't want the skates, it was too bad for me. This is how life was back then. But after a good cry, I came out to see the toys that the other kids got. And they were all happy with their toys. They were playing with them. Well, I wasn't happy. I hated those skates. After breakfast, we ran next door to Uncle Gordon's to see what our cousins got. I couldn't believe it. There they were. The skates I was supposed to get were in Cousin Linda's hand. She was showing off my skates. I knew then that Santa had made a mistake and got our houses mixed up, because those skates were supposed to be mine. Cousin Linda knew I wanted those skates. She knew, and she was taunting me and rubbing it in my face that she got those skates. I was very jealous of her. I pouted all day Christmas Day and for a couple of days afterward. I wouldn't even try them on. A couple of days later, I decided to give those ugly skates a try. I had no choice. There was no other toy for me. All the other kids were having fun skating, and I wanted to go out and skate too. As it turned out, I appreciated my skates without the figure skating tips. Cousin Linda, well, she kept falling on her face with her figure skates. Me? Na 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 na. I just flew. I didn't have to worry about tripping on no fancy tipped skates. So I thought I'd leave the fancy dancy twirling to Barbara Ann Scott and laugh at Linda when she fell on her face. Yeah, I was just a kid, so. I remember our Christmas tree. It really didn't have much for decorations. We didn't have power to put lights on, so there was no lights. We had tinsel and, like the decorations that we made in school. That was about all we had on our tree. Then one day, Dad got home from Whitefish and handed a parcel to my older sister, Pauline. And he said to her, "These are for you, Nitanis." It means my daughter. In the package were shiny, beautiful, sparkling balls for the Christmas tree. Our first ever store-bought decorations. Balls in different colors with fancy designs on them. See, Pauline always got the honor of decorating the tree. We couldn't even go near it when she was decorating. We could only watch from a distance. Well, now, with the nice new and fragile store-bought decorations, we were lucky we even got to watch her decorate. I don't think we were able to go near that tree. But, they were beautiful. I couldn't stop looking at them. Another time I remember that Mom made a gift for Dad. Well, first of all, I'll say that other families in the community, they celebrated their Christmas much like we did. People didn't have much, but, they made do with what they had. And of course, some people got into spirits over the holidays. I'm sure making home brew was part of the Christmas decorations. Preparations, sorry. I saw Mom make that same preparation one year. She made home brew for Dad as a surprise for Christmas. It was more like a wine. She used raspberries, so it was red. Well, as it happened that Christmas Eve, Dad went over to Cocom's and got into some drink there. Relatives from out of town had come and they, got into the bottle a little bit soon. And so when Mom found out that he had started drinking over there, she marched over there and made a scene at his mom's. She didn't want Dad to drink before they did their Santa thing and had Christmas dinner with the family. Well, Dad was very offended that Mom would go and give him crap in front of his mother. This started a royal fight, and Dad ended up drinking all night and into Christmas Day. I don't know how Dad found out that Mom had made him that wine. What I do recall is that once in a while, Dad would come home from the party, which was next door at Uncle Gordon's. He would go down into the cellar where Mom had stashed the wine to get a jar full of it. He would come up with a jar full of this red wine brew. And while he was doing this, he would like point a finger at Mom and say, Mama Scott e bruhkin. Kam simitin. Kasuhkit sa hugawen. What he was saying is, I can't believe you made brew. I'll report you and you'll go to court. So I guess Dad drank up the evidence because Mom never went to court. New Year's. The other thing that I forgot to say about Christmas is sometime towards evening, after everybody had their turkey dinner or whatever, there would be some people who would hitch up their sleigh and horses and go around in the community and shake hands, visit homes and just greet each other with a Merry Christmas. So that was something to also look forward to. Because even though we were kids, they shook our hand too. They didn't ignore us. New Year's. Well, New Year's started off with a bang. And still does in our small communities. Guns were used to usher in the new year. Instead of like fireworks, a lot of people have fireworks today. But back then it was guns, like shotguns, loud guns. For like a full 15 minutes or so, there was a sound of shots being fired all over the community. Still practiced in Gift Lake to some degree. But that was the big custom of the day. And as soon as the new year had been ushered in with gunfire, horse-drawn sleighs full of people went out into the community. They went from house to house to wish friends, relatives, and neighbors a happy new year. It was exciting to hear the sleighs coming because they'd have bells and there'd be people hooting and hollering and just yelling Happy New Year and just making a lot of noise. And they would, as they approached the house or got closer, stop next door, and then we were next. It was exciting to watch them come because there'd be like, 20 people to 30 people in a sleigh just having fun. The New Year handshake included a kiss. New Year's in our communities was called, I don't know if I can say this right, Kuchihto Gisigak. Kissing Day. Kuchihto Gisigak. But it was exciting as kids got to stay up late and then the next day, we had our meal again. And turkey was also a treat, and all those pies and cakes and everything that we got, very special. And my memories of Christmas is just a happy time. It was definitely some memories I have that are really great. Well, except for the figure skates. But I had to tell about that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my story today. Ego se maga.